Well, I was sitting there, I was like, do I ask the hockey question? Do I not ask the hockey question? Do I mention the 2004 Stanley Cup Finals when the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Calgary Flames? Is that unprofessional? Where's the line? I thought I'll just ask the first question about hockey. It was great talking with Craig. I hadn't thought about, a company like Flex Central. They do see everyone's pain points, and so if they can see those, like, if a lot of our clients are getting hit by this, that, or the other. And the thing I appreciated the most is I feel like a lot of times as a business continuity and resilience professional, you tell a management team, hey, we want to do a failover test. And management says, sure, let's do that in 2048. And for Greg to say that customers come to him and want to do a failover test immediately in production, that made me excited that there's companies out there that are like, yeah, let's pull the plug and see what happens.
You certainly would find out, excuse me, where your dependencies are and your pain points, and where you stand by doing that. And correct me if I'm wrong, I remember being at another conference somewhere else when a colleague of yours, I can't even say the name of the company, but turned around and in a panel discussion said that they supported testing without a plan. And because you will find out where you are. You a lot of times you're asked that question: where do we stand in our DR or our business continuity or whatever the case may be? If you do a test like that, a sudden cutover, like Craig mentioned, then you'll find out exactly where you are and what your pain points are. And I did have a conversation years and years ago. It was just after Y2K, believe it or not. There was a financial institution. They were putting on a business continuity seminar, and I attended. And I was having a chat with one of the vice presidents there, and said, "Yeah, we had a test a couple of months ago. We didn't tell anybody. We just said we had a disaster and cut over because they were tired of finding out these little things each time, and they're going like, there's something we don't know. So they just did a full declared disaster, cut over, and they found out all the things that people were afraid to bring forward. And it really uncovered all the sore spots.
So that's very interesting. The old adage, the exception proves the rule. I like to think of myself as a risk taker, but I really feel if I just pulled the plug in a production environment unannounced, I better have my resume up to date.
I agree.
Because I think 9 times out of 10, the thing that's going to break might be something you don't want to break. Or, what we've seen sometimes, I'm sure you have too, the thing that gets broke and nobody is around anymore.
Yeah.
Knows how to fix it. We talk about succession planning, and you've got some access database sitting on a server in the corner room behind like a broken vending machine. And that goes down, and you're like, oh, that actually runs our general ledger. Who knows how to do that? Well, Craig retired 12 years ago. No one knows how to do that.
Yeah, or some of those legacy systems that still hang around.
Yeah.
To your point, on a server under somebody's desk.
Exactly. And we've all seen those pictures with like a sticky note on a laptop.
Yes.
That says, do not close this laptop lid.
Yeah, do not close, do not turn off,
and it's not because
touch it.
Their Uber Eats order is going to go away.
That's right.
Some of their production's going down.
Yeah, it's but you will find out what hasn't been addressed or what's been assumed
after you get fired.
Yeah, after you get fired. Yeah, hopefully your colleagues still want to talk to you.
Yeah, after you better be way up the food chain if you pull the plug. That's all I'm saying.
And you're right. Some places you're just not going to do that. Like I can't imagine a large financial institution. Well, let's just cut over and see what's wrong. Are you kidding? Do you know how many tens and hundreds of millions of dollars are going through your bank every moment? You're just going to stop and cut over?
Like, I will say that what you can use to your advantage with that scenario, if you're working with an IT department or anyone, there's like, oh yeah, we do incremental backups every 6 seconds, and everything's fully redundant, and they won't even want to talk to you because we're bulletproof. And then so you say to them, all right, let's pull the plug. And then
And then,
they're like, wait a minute, hold on.
yeah, hold on, hang on.
Well, really, James, if we pull the plug, here's what really happened. So sometimes just by using a scare tactic of, okay, we're resilient, we're bulletproof, let's pull the plug. Then
Yeah.
that's when everyone starts telling you what's, like you said, okay, what's really going on.
Yeah, you could be like Regina. You definitely be making them cry.
Yes.
Yeah, not something I'd be looking forward to if the company turned around and did that. I know there was the same kind of thing happens too when they implement things. They don't actually test their processes
Correct.
properly in QA or quality assurance or quality control, whatever they call that department. There's different names for it, but they don't do the proper pre-testing before that. They put it in to production, and then all of a sudden you find out that 10,000 people can't access their accounts or something. Or, oh, we just wiped out 10,000 accounts.
Or sometimes even when it's not a negative. TJ and Gail talking earlier this morning about Netflix did a live event and they hit a 3 million user cap instantaneously. Like, like, oh, we can't handle more than 3 million users at one time, and we've already hit it.
Yeah, unbelievable different things that can happen out there. So I still remember the days of multiple data centers all over the place, and you probably do too.
I do.
I remember working in one when I first started in this industry, and was the business continuity guy, but I was stationed in the data center.
Tape monkey, like Melissa.
No, thank
said?
goodness, no. But I did sit right beside someone who did do that.
You supervised the tape monkey.
And the funny thing is, what I wanted to point out is that and I didn't want to interrupt Melissa, but the cases we used were just like our one over here, where James and I pack all of our equipment in with the same things. They just stacked them up, and then they went off to the off-site storage place, of which I remember going to a few times just to validate that everything was there, everything was in the right order, all the tapes that should be there were there, copies of our business continuity plans are there, and excess equipment like pens and all that stuff. Like, I remember all those old things. You never hear that anymore. Well, make sure you got pens and paper and all that. I haven't heard anyone mention that in a couple of years. It's maybe because it's so simple. And maybe it's because we all use our phones now and we've all got laptops and traveling around. The desktop kind of thing has gone. So it's rather interesting to see how the data center itself and how it prepares itself is completely different the way it used to be.
Yeah, it's night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day. Speaking of the cases that all of our recording equipment travel around in, last month, my wife and I were watching a mini-series or a limited series, I guess, on Netflix, talking about a drug smuggler in the United States, in Miami, in the early 80s, and how easy it was for them to smuggle cocaine into the United States. And it made me laugh, Alex, because you're probably wondering where I'm going with this right now.
Yeah.
But last year, when we shipped recording equipment from your house to my house, I was like, how is it this easy to smuggle drugs? But you sent me some microphones and a mixing board, and it became a national security incident.
Oh,
and we had our stuff impounded or frozen or whatever happened. And so I couldn't help but laugh. I'm like, wait a minute. So I can just carry drugs in on this Netflix series, but then some microphones are a national security issue.
Yeah, I could not send James, three cases of information to do do these broadcasts, and stopped, and we had
the packing list. They wanted the packing list again.
Yeah, and again, I had to send it 3 times.
Life story. Why is someone in Canada sending you microphones?
Yeah, just crazy stuff. And like you said, and yet it's so easy to walk across the border with other things.
Yeah, maybe we're in the wrong resilience business.
Or used the wrong carrier or something. I don't know. It was rather strange. Well, we're coming up to the end of our 4th hour, right? We only have 1 hour left after this, right?
I have no
We
idea
do.
where we're at. Yes.
Yes, we do.
We are almost at the end of our 4th hour. We want to thank our good friends Flexential, who sponsored this hour. Flexential empowers the IT journey of the nation's most complex businesses by offering tailored hybrid IT solutions delivered via their Flex Anywhere platform of integrated co-location, cloud connectivity, data protection, managed and professional services with over 3 million square feet of data center across 19 connected markets. Thank you so much, Flexen.
And thank you, Craig, for joining us from Flexential. We appreciate your support. So we're going to take an early break. We will be back at the top of the hour. And in the meantime, stay prepared, everybody. We'll be back.